Hello, fellow Minecrafters. Gearsaw Studios here. Today I'm going to show off 21W37A, the first snapshot that is not experimental for 1.18. However, before I begin, remember, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. So, with that, let's investigate. So, here we are on Reddit, which I think I'll use for all of my future snapshot videos. Now, it may look like there's a lot of stuff to cover, but in reality, a lot of this has just been ported over from the experimental snapshots. So, all of the revamped generation that is a huge change is actually not new. In that case, I'd recommend watching my past experimental snapshot videos. So, scrolling down, enchanting tables now emit a low amount of light, which I believe they already did on Bedrock, and a huge change. Using shears on the tips of cave vines, as in glowberry vines, twisting vines, weeping vines, unfortunately they misspelled that, and kelp now stop its future growing, which means builders shall rejoice to this. All this already covered in past things. Monsters can no longer spawn unless the light from blocks is 0. Skyway is still the same, and multiplayer is no longer going to have a severe lack of enemies. Now, here's all the ore distribution. I'm only going to share some of it. Iron's best level is 16, copper generates best at 48, lapis lazuli or lazuli generates best at 0, coal is about 96 and above, coal now generates less exposed to air, -16 for gold. Extra gold for Badlands is the same. Redstone is best at the lowest you can go, along with diamonds. And diamonds have less exposure to air. All this, same. And added an accessibility option to prevent the sky from flashing during thunderstorms. So, those who are epileptic, you'd no longer have to cower in fear in order to make sure you don't cause a seizure on yourself. Toggle Sprint and Toggle Sneak are now in the control settings. Added an option to specify audio devices, moved keybinds to their own setting screen. Same stuff. And Villagers, as in Vindicator, Pillager, Evoker, no longer attack baby villagers. So, now you have a chance of surviving a raid if you have a baby in the village. Axolotls now only spawn in lush caves, which I'm pretty sure they already did. Axolotls now have their own separate mob caps, so now there's not going to be a distinct lack of them. And cloud level has been increased from 128 to 192. Now, here's a ton of technical changes. I don't understand most of them, so the runic font from Minecraft Dungeons has been added through commands. Worlds saved before 1.2 can no longer be opened directly. And you have to go to 1.6.2 or below in order to open them again, to port them to the latest thing. And a lot of stuff. The world conversion, and a huge amount of changes in terms of bug fixes. So, let's investigate in-game. In case you don't want to sit down and watch all my previous experimental snapshot videos, here's the quickest rundown I can come up with for this. Hills biomes are gone, rivers are wide, new mountains, which have calcite in them, ore distribution reworks and I have to mine on different levels, tons of new biomes, and height limit is increased, 64 both ends, which means -64, and that also means all the way up here, it can reach stuff like 185, which means you're going to be very high up and still can build a tall base. So you can see quite a lot has changed, but this is not new. Along with that, new caves now generate, such as aquifers, which, if we look underground, a lot of caves and cave biomes. There's the dripstone caves, slush caves, but no deep dark / warden place yet. There's a ton more to this, but that's just a quick rundown in case you need a refresher or haven't seen my previous videos. Now, I have subtitles on for this change because now you can clip these blocks here: weeping vines, glowberry vines, kelp, and twisting vines. Now you can clip them to make sure that they don't grow again. And I have the subtitles on so that way we can see if there's a noise. As you can see, it's completely silent. But I'm only going to clip some of these so that way when I crank up the random tick speed through game rule, and I'm going to multiply it by about 1,000, you can see these are growing, but the ones I right-clicked are not. So now, builders like me can rejoice because it means no more string spamming. Instead, we can just be nice and happy with our clipped vines. This is a parody change from Bedrock. Now, the majority of raiders, as in Vindicators, Evokers, and Pillagers, no longer can attack baby villagers. So it's rather laggy right now for some reason, probably because there's still quite a few performance issues. But you can see that these Vindicators went for the adult, but didn't bother with the baby. And now here's some indicators. And this game's strangely laggy, which I didn't experience most of the time. You can see only the zombie is chasing the baby villager, which means, of course, your raids are going to be a lot easier to win because these little guys can't be killed. Now, over here in the accessibility settings, fun fact, you can turn off auto jump and have toggle stuff. Hide lightning flashes is now a thing, which means the sky won't be able to flash when lightning strikes. So now, if we do /summon lightning bolt, you can see the sky is not flashing, and for some reason the game really likes giving me surge protector. But the important thing is, epileptic people will have an easier time playing the game because they won't have a seizure from lightning storms having too many lightning bolts. This might get a little buggy on the recording sides of things, so if this clip starts bugging out, that's just because the nature of this feature. Over here in the sound settings, you can see that I can change to the device that my audio comes from. So, THX, and that's just my audio devices. As you can see, I can now cycle through them and no longer have to manually do it from my own computer settings. Now, Minecraft can do it. I've created a world that is only lush caves for the demonstration of these next two things. Now, over here in the mob cap, you can see that one of these has the letter A, and there's actually two of them saying A, but I can assume one of them means axolotl. So, if I do /effect, give all entities type axolotl, glowing, as you can see, 6 targets have been affected, and you can see some axolotl swimming around, and that second A with the number 6 under it, which means that there is a mob cap that is most likely 6 exclusively for these cute little guys. As you can see right here, cute little yellow axolotl, which means these guys won't be as hard to find anymore. Strangely, in this all lush cave world, and this is probably a bug fix, the new noise terrain generation is actually applying here. Because you can see all the way up here, this seems like it was meant to be a meadows, is completely replaced by lush cave. Which means now there's going to be cool worlds with the new generation that are single biome. There are a lot of technical changes in this video, but I am not nearly intelligent enough to understand them and explain them in a good way. So that means it's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, remember, please like and subscribe. And if you're still confused, look at experimental snapshot videos. I have quite a few that go in depth and explain. So, with that, take care, explore the new single biome stuff. Seriously, this is amazing. And Take care. Gearsaw out.